The Houston Rockets are absolutely cooking right now as they are preparing their championship caliber roster for next season, as this new update gives light onto what the contract will look like for an NBA veteran on this team for next year. Hello everybody, I am Donovan Ricondo. I'm your host for Rockets Digest. As always, we appreciate you joining us here on the channel. If you want to stay up to date on all of your Rockets news, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be covering all of it and giving you all the latest details so you are not late to the action. And so today we got a new update regarding Aaron Holiday, NBA veteran, as Michael Scotto has tweeted out earlier today saying that the Houston Rockets declined the $4.9 million team option on guard Aaron Holiday, sources told HoopSite. Holiday is expected to return to the Rockets on a one-year deal. Holiday, a favorite of coach Ime Udoka, averaged 5.5 points, including 39.8% from three-point range this season. Now, I'm not here to tell you, right, I don't think by any means Aaron Holiday is like this game-changing player that's going to make us instant title contenders, if we're not already. But what I am going to say to you right here on this episode of Rockets Digest is that this, to me, is a very much a culture move, right? Ime Udoka, him being a fan of Aaron Holiday, and the relationship that they have, you certainly want to keep guys like that around on the team. And you've seen it from this front office, right? They are very, very high on keeping some form of continuity with this roster and having leadership as well, right? We recently did a video about the three veterans on this team, which are Jeff Green, Jae'Sean Tate, and of course Aaron Holiday, who are all expected to be brought back next season. And to me, that just shows the continuity and culture that they want to keep around for this team. I mean, we know that the main players on this team, there are a bunch of young guys, with the exclusion of Fred VanVleet, and now of course the acquisition of Kevin Durant, but Alperen Şengün, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., who just signed his extended contract. They were all young. They needed some veteran leadership to help, facilitate what being in the NBA is like and having some depth to this roster. Now, Aaron Holiday, a solid player, right? You saw his three-point percentage, not bad, right? 5 points, nothing to go crazy about, but, some solid contributions for the minutes that he played. He played in 62 games last year, averaging 12 minutes. And so I do think he's a good bench player. But at the same time, right, when we talk about continuity, Rafael Stone put it like this, which I think is the best way you can put it, coming from your GM, saying that, quote, "I think continuity for continuity's sake isn't what we're trying to achieve. Continuity is great, but the goal is to build a championship team. And if we think that there's a move or a series of moves that make it more likely we will be that, then we would ignore continuities and we do those moves." And we saw that with the Kevin Durant trade and Jalen Green, getting rid of Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks to bring in Kevin Durant. And you're seeing a little bit of that and retaining these veterans on this team, right? And the leadership that they bring and the experience that they can have for these young guys. And so I look at that as a positive if I'm a Rockets fan looking at this team. Now, there's another upside to all this, right? It's the upside of what a guy like Aaron Holiday would give and, teach a guy like Reed Sheppard, right? I feel like that's the hidden thing in all of this, right? Going into next season, right, Reed Sheppard most likely going to be the backup for Fred VanVleet. But at the same time, right, there has to be some sort of, quote-unquote competition or some sort of motivating factor or something, some obstacle for Reed Sheppard to have in his way to make him a better player, right? Because, as always, competition makes everybody better. Now, I don't think Aaron Holiday would necessarily beat Reed Sheppard out in minutes, but it's good to have that kind of dynamic with the team, right? To have a veteran that is going to have a lot of time to kind of help you and help you grow as a player in the NBA. And so that's kind of the other thing that I really want to look at, right? Reed Sheppard last year didn't necessarily have huge numbers. He didn't play very much, similar to Cam Whitmore. But Reed Sheppard, 4.4 points per game, 1.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists. He has a lot to improve. Again, he's only 21 years old. With a guy like Aaron Holiday, could be exactly what Reed Sheppard needs to, gain some sort of boost in his gameplay, right? He's going to have a much larger role next season with the a subtraction of Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. And so to have this kind of dynamic, I think, is going to just be beneficial for not only Reed Sheppard, not only Aaron Holiday, but for the entire team and this team's chances. It's a lot of the little things that GM Rafael soon is trying to take care of in these off-season deals. Like by no means is Aaron Holiday going to be your leading scorer all year, or is he going to be that dynamic guy? But he's going to, do what he's supposed to, right? He has a role on this team, and he understands that. Now, this contract is expected to be, as Michael Shapiro points out from Cron, he expects that Houston could sign one more free agent with its $14.1 million mid-level exception, except that Holiday, Green, and Tate would have to receive veteran minimum contracts. So the Rockets declined at $4 million to essentially, bring it down a little bit lower to save some money, right? We still have Tari Eason extensions that we're thinking about. We still have the Kevin Durant extension that we are thinking about. So these are just some of the things, some of the cuts that are going to have to be made. And quite frankly, they do make sense, right? You're not going to pay Aaron Holiday a lot of money. You're not going to pay Quinshon Tate a lot of money, or Jeff Green for that matter. And so there are all these little things that are key contributions to building this championship level team. And I look at teams like the Thunder and the Pacers that, for the guys that weren't playing in the game, they were very much involved in the game. And I feel like that is what was missing on a lot of NBA teams. And of course, with the Houston Rockets. I mean, not to say there was no camaraderie at all, because there was a lot of camaraderie. There's, young guys hanging out with the leadership of Jeff Green, Aaron Holiday, but to instill that, right, to hear from management that they also value those things. And I think that's going to be a very motivating factor for all these young guys. It's going to, further cement Kevin Durant's position and understanding the team that he is coming into and how they're all a united front. And that's what you need to win a championship in the NBA. Now, quick side note. I want everybody with this additional news, right? Sit back and just think to yourself what has happened with the Houston Rockets in the past 15 days. Because Shams Charania has also done that. And he, earlier, just, this is like from 2 hours ago, has pointed out what the Rockets have just done. They are on probably the hottest streak a franchise has been on for a very long time. Extensions. You extended Jabari Smith Jr. That news came out today. You extended Steven Adams, who we talk about valuable players in the NBA. I can think of no player more valuable than a guy like Steven Adams. I mean, regular season and postseason, his plus minus was just off the charts. It was honestly quite ridiculous. It was like video game numbers for a guy coming off the bench, who's a big, who, gets you extra possessions by getting offensive rebounds, getting you to your original possessions, getting defensive rebounds, getting key blocks, limiting how many other points the other team scores. His contributions are just unmatched, and I feel like that was very evident in the playoffs, and it's just further reason why he is one of my favorite players on this team. He is my favorite player on this team, actually. Just the hustle that he plays with, the grit that he plays with. If more players, on this team could adapt that mentality from Steven Adams, my goodness. Who's stopping the Houston Rockets next season? Who is stopping them? That's just the kudos to Steven Adams. Another extension, Ime Udoka, one of the best coaches in the NBA. You extended him. You extended his contract. He's going to be around for longer. Amen. Right? Ime Udoka has been a godsend for the Houston Rockets. Coming in from the Celtics, his first year, go 500, which was not expected. And then the second year, you get the second seed, which was not expected. This third year, I don't know what the expectations are because, I mean, I would expect to make the playoffs, obviously. But in terms of how many wins this team is going to have, I feel like that is so up in the air in a good way that it just has me pumped up to see what this team has in store for us come, September, October, whenever the season starts. And then you look at the free agents we've got, or we've retained. Fred VanVleet. You extend him. You sign him to a team-friendly deal. Great job by the front office on getting that accomplished. But at the same time, you give Fred more money in the span of, 3 years, have him for longer. He gets paid as well. Win-win on both sides, quite frankly. Great deal made, if you ask me, right? I feel like that is a much better number than the $45 million that we would originally have owed him if we would have just picked up that option. You retain Jae'Sean Tate, like I said, continuity. Aaron Holiday, Jeff Green, all guys you are going to bring back next year. Oh, and of course, the Kevin Durant blockbuster trade. Now you have one of the best primary scorers in the NBA. Congratulations. Is it great to be a Houston Rockets fan right now? Is it great? They are making moves. They are all in right now. And it's great to have a front office that is, in fact, all in on this team. Getting KD, extending Jabari Smith Jr. You have faith in that guy. You did not include him in that package for KD because you know he is going to be your guy in the next 5 years. Perfect. Awesome. Alperen Şengün, All-Star last year. I expect him to get an All-Star this year. Amen Thompson, Defensive Player of the Year, MVP. Incoming, we don't know when, but it's coming. Fantastic defensive player. It's great to be a Rockets fan. And this signing of Aaron Holiday is just a testament to where this front office thinks of this team and how close we really are to a championship. We're one of the favorites for a reason. Top 4 in favorites. Now it's just a matter of, making a couple other, signings, right? I mentioned that mid-level exception. Hopefully that is a shooter to help out with KD, to help out with our three-pointing woes from last season. You get that guy, whoever that may be. We'll keep you updated on who it is, too, on Rockets Digest. But things are trending up for the Houston Rockets. They are really, really trending up. And I want you to tell me in the comments, what are you most excited for next season? I can name a bunch, but I want you to let me know. What are you most excited for? I'm excited to hear what you guys say because, quite frankly, I can think of a lot of things off the top of my head. Alperen Şengün for me. I mean, I feel like next year is going to be a year where he really, really shows everybody why he is one of the best bigs in the NBA. If he hasn't already, quite frankly. But yeah, let me know in the comments. This has been another episode of Rockets Digest. Thank you so much for joining me. And as always, if you love the Houston Rockets, go ahead, hit that subscribe button below. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.